PKN 284. Hello, boys.
Hello.
How's
there.
everyone doing?
Not too bad.
Good. Good.
I was talking.
Kyle, is that a haircut I see?
I got a haircut like 2 weeks ago.
Ah, well, it's just now.
I got my haircut right before I went to prison, literally the day before. And she gave me this coupon. She's like, now if you come back within 2 months, $7 off. And I was like, that's gonna be a bit of a problem. She's like busy. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Do you have a 68-day coupon from now?
Yeah. Could you manage that? So yeah, a couple weeks ago I got a haircut. It was so long. Like in the front, it was down like well below my nose, and in the back, it was getting long. Like it had stopped being the rat tail and started to being like just like long hair that just went down the back of my neck. It was time. It was time.
Was it like a cool rocker look?
Oh,
or like
yeah.
the time has passed for a
Oh, it was the cool rocker look for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was talking to Chiz.
I want to see your long hair down in your face, and then I want to see somebody put like some Fallout Boy in 2004 eyeliner on. It looks so cool.
No need for Photoshop. I'll do it. I'll lean right into that one.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Maybe Halloween next year, my hair will be long, and I'll go for something like that.
That'd be fun. A makeup year where we all wear makeup.
Chiz reminded me of something today. A couple years back, he took the bus. I don't remember. I think he took the bus and came to Atlanta. I picked him up, and I don't remember what we were doing. I think it was when we were doing the rafting trip, and he like spent the night at my house like the night before, and then he and I maybe drove up to Tennessee and met up with Woody, and I had completely forgotten about this. So I go and pick him up, and he hadn't eaten all day. He was super hungry. We get back to my house. I'm like, "Don't worry, dude. I'll take care of you." So we get some Taco Bell, of course, and
nothing but the best.
Nothing but the best for you, my friend. And I'm like, "Hey, you want to get high?" And he's like, "I haven't smoked in a long time." "Yeah, I do want to get high." And I was like, "All right." So we go out my front porch, and it's me and him and my girlfriend, and we're out there. And I don't remember exactly what I was smoking out of, but it was just flower. It was like regular marijuana, I think. And I'm smoking constantly, like every day, 2 or 3 times a day. And so I hit that thing. It's nothing to me. I got a good buzz going on. I'm just relaxed and having a fun conversation. I pass it over to Chiz, and he hits it real hard.
Too hard.
And he passes it back to me, and I hit it, and I reload it. I get some more in there. I'm like, "You want some more, Chiz?" I look at him, and he's turned as white as a ghost.
Oh no!
He's as white as a ghost, and he's staring off into the darkness of the yard. And I look at his burrito, and it's not even unwrapped. He's just holding it like it's a microphone. He's just like, I don't feel so well. I'm like, "You don't look so good. Are you okay? Get some of that burrito in you, buddy." He's like, "I don't have an appetite." I was like, "This does the opposite of that. What do you mean?" He's like cold sweat, white as a ghost. I'm going to lay down. And I'm like, "This is some good shit. This is some good shit."
Jesus, I mean, this gives people with like stage 4 pancreatic cancer an appetite. And
it doesn't sound good at all.
It's called stage 4.
Yeah.
I love those ridiculous weed names. Like one of the people I play games with was smoking something today. I'm like, what's that called? What's that you're smoking? He's like, "It's called canoeing without a canoe." Who comes up with that nonsense?
Some stoner laying on a couch.
Oh, I want that job. That's the best job ever.
Dare to dream.
Yeah, this tastes like a purple dragon. It's like, we can't name a 5th strain in a row purple dragon. You're confusing people. You smoked too much. That's all right. Green dragon, fuck off. Yeah, you really fixating on the dragon bit, Chad. Yeah, those are silly little names for weed. And it's like, it's the same way they are with like craft beers. Like I'll try and go and get like I like craft beers every so often. Usually I'm like a very simple Bud Light, Bud Select kind of, light beer thing. But every once in a while it's like, oh, cool. Like you'll see the 6-packs and like all they really do a good job with art and graphics in the alcohol aisle, really trying to grab you, pull you in. The liquor bottles always look great. I don't buy or drink that much liquor though. But every once in a while it'll be like a really appealing thing, and it'll be like, "There was an explosion in the hop factory and it's so hoppy," and then you'll be like, oh, maybe this is interesting. It's got pictures of hops blowing up and like a little hop man, like with a spear in the corner or something. And you'll check and it'll be like 11.9% alcohol. And it's like, are you trying to kill people here with your little hop cartoon acting like this is Little Caesars? And this is like drinking a bottle of strong red wine, basically. So, yeah. And those are overpriced. And don't ever make the mistake of being like, oh, I'm going to have this craft beer and then take a picture with your MyFitnessPal, because it's going to ruin that whole illusion. All those beers are like 260 calories a pop.
Well, it's 2 beers. You got to keep that in
Basically,
mind,
yeah.
right? Yeah. Like you're getting the alcohol of 2 beers, and
yeah, even more than that, because I like a Bud Light. What's that, like 4?
5.5,
4 or 5 or
You
something?
back on MyFitnessPal, Taylor?
Yeah, I'm back on MyFitnessPal. Lost a few pounds this week. Been hitting the workouts really hard, adding new stuff in. Nice. I was bandying about the idea of like getting one of those attachments for my power rack that I could like use one of those the ropes that you put for the tricep pull downs and like face pulls and things like that. But I was like, oh, this is so expensive. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. So I've just started doing like tricep pull downs with like a 50-pound resistance band and like just standing however far back I feel like I need to. And I'm getting a real good burn with that. And it's not irritating my elbows the way that skull crushers do. Maybe I'm not doing the skull crushers right. I watched a bunch of Athlete X
What's
videos.
A skull crusher?
It's where you have like, the bent kind of curl bar, but you grab it this way, lay back on the bench, and then you have it like back behind your head.
Oh.
And then you extend it out straight, and you have to like not like putting it over your head, because that's not going to help anything but your shoulders, but like literally laying back and your arms like lifting it up just to kind of parallel with your body over and over.
It's like an
inverted
it's
real
tricep
hard
extension.
Yeah, it really blasts your triceps, but I feel like just as good a burn with these pull downs, and it's not nearly as irritating.
Shits?
No, shits are great. I've been really eating a bunch of fiber, and so it's just like one just enormous like every morning, and it's like, all right, let's start the day.
There's a pound right there. Who says you can't lose weight in a day?
Oh yeah, like it's so funny how all like eat like shit with like pizza and wings for like 2 or 3 days straight, and then just shit like 3 times that next day after that, and just be like, oh, it just be that way sometimes, I guess. And then like 3 days into eating not shit, just all veggies and like grilled chicken and stuff, you're like, oh yeah, this is 100% because of your eating when you're having bad shits. Like you could stop this at any time with just a couple handfuls of green beans and Brussels sprouts. So yeah, it's going really well. I've been hitting the diet hard, working out really, really hard. I'm still in that. I'm right. You know how it is when you get that mentality, that wave of like motivation. You can't fall off that wave because you never know when the next one's coming. I've never surfed, but I imagine it's like surfing.
It could be 2020. Or it is 2020. That's stupid. It could be 2022.
Yeah, it could be that before the next one comes. And so I'm like, all right, I got to seize the day on this bitch and lose some weight. So by the time I fall off this wave and go back into, a pizza every weekend and whatnot, I'm not in as bad a shape. So yeah. How's yours going, Woody? I know you've been.
I traveled this weekend. So my travel days were Friday and Monday, and I've been eating nothing but restaurant food and garbage because I find it really hard to eat well on the road. I go to Dunkin' Donuts and it's like, well, the English muffin, egg and ham is half the calories of the croissant, egg and ham. So I guess I'll do that.
I mean, it's an apple fritter. There's fruit in there.
Yeah, half of 1,400 is 700. So yeah,
the numbers were like 690 and 3 something. But
did you sneak a slice of donut into that sandwich?
But and then on the second day, she's like, "Do you want hash browns?" And it's like, well, I do.
No one's ever said no to the hash browns.
I need some simple carbs for my energy. That kind of rationalization.
I've been working the pull stuff back in slowly. I've done a couple. I'm doing
nice.
I do assisted pull-ups now with the stretchy band because I'm trying not to just step right into full weight and bring that back. So I don't know, on my way, but it's. That to me is one of the things of like over 40 exercise. Like, you got to ease into this shit, baby. You can't just take your enthusiasm and hit it like I could when I was 19.
Yeah.
Barely walk one day and then tomorrow exercise again.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's cool. I did the flying thing. I still haven't put all my gear away. So that was really fun. Our new boat.
Oh, did you go down to Anderson? South Carolina.
So no, normally we go to, where is it? We go Lake Hartwell in Georgia.
Yeah.
But for the winter, we're in Florida, Tiger Lake, if people know all the lakes. And we got a new winch. The last winch broke, and the new winch stinks. So we're sorting it out. Go on.
Is Tiger Lake connected to the ocean by a river by any chance?
I don't think so. I wouldn't think so. It's pretty far inland. If it is, it's some tiny thing. But
I would be worried about tiger sharks, right? Coming all the way up the estuary, getting into that fresh water.
So I don't know
That's a
about
true
tiger sharks, but
Bull sharks.
alligators actually are a thing, definitely there. And they're all like, "Oh, don't worry, those alligators are more scared of you than you are of them."
No, they're
And
not.
I'm like, "How could you're underestimating how scared I am of alligators?"
You've greatly underestimated my fear of gators.
Yeah, they're like,
one
"Oh,
of my
it's not a
top 3
problem," and they're like, "If you're in the water with the gator, then they're fine. It's when you're above the gator that's when they're less comfortable and they tend to attack." And I'm like, "You're telling me to go in the water more so that I don't get above them?"
What you want to do, Woody, is swim under the gator.
Yeah, that's what they're
They
saying.
like that.
A preemptive
Fuck you.
attack. Yeah, on the gator.
Yeah, and they're like,
Let's shoot a few right now and send a message.
They're literally
you hop in
saying
and show me
shit
how
like,
it's done?
if you slowly touch their chin, you can raise them. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. What if I panically jump in the boat? How do they respond to that? Because that's much more likely. But
I've watched enough South Asian videos of carnivals and shit to know that is not a permanent solution.
Now he's
Like,
going to put head in crocodile mouth.
Watch this.
two pilots
It's my
did go in
first
the
day.
water, but I stayed
My
dry.
first day. What happened to the last guy? Oh, he retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, he retired.
He's finished.
What's that really full alligator doing over there? Oh, nothing. Yeah, yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, you don't. That's so funny. They're more scared of you than you are of it. It's like, okay, maybe a squirrel or a badger or something, but a crocodile, alligator, snakes, they literally don't have the capacity for emotion. Like, what do they have? Like an amygdala, and that's about it. And it just kind of processes fear, like fight or flight.
It's target acquisition.
And they don't have sex, probably.
They
That's true.
don't even fuck. Another thing, So unlike dolphins, which will rape you.
There's eggs involved, so I don't really know how it works exactly.
I watched that King of the Hill the other night where Luann buys Hank he thinks that he's getting a golf trip to a really nice country club, and Luann comes back and gives him a present, and it's a swim with the dolphins thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets in, and the guy's like, "All right, now pet it." And Hank, he starts petting it, and he goes, "Oh, well, all right," doing his little thing. Then the genital area of the dolphin starts to turn a little red, and then it starts humping Hank, almost drowning him. He's like, "Now this thing's trying to kill me." And he's like, "Mr. Hill, that thing, the last thing it wants to do is harm you in any way. It wants to have sex with you." Goes,
Everybody's taking pictures.
Yeah, taking pictures.
Super
of it.
embarrassing.
Such a good one. Yeah.
I had another encounter with a retail person today. Let me tell my story.
Oh, no.
Goddamn retail.
I think I'm okay on this one. I didn't do anything, but I thought things. So I went to do this whole TSA thing, and I'm looking at buying a mountain bike for a while. Add a little cardio to my life. That's a little low impact cardio. That's what I'm going for. And I go into the Trek store, and the salesman from across the store he greets me with way more excitement and enthusiasm than I expect to see. Like we're old friends. Like, "Hey!" And I'm just like Forrest Gump, like, "Hi," okay. So this is a thing. And I'm not even 100% sure he works there, right? Like he's looking a little dressed down.
Casual.
Yeah, a little casual. And I don't know, I thought maybe he confused me. So he comes over and he starts explaining the bikes to me. I lay it out. I'm like, "Look, I'm new. I'm trying to get a bike that's good enough that I can do this. What isn't $7,000? Because I'm afraid I won't even like it." And mountain bikes, by the way, can get outrageously expensive. So he starts explaining it to me, and I'm not getting it. He's in 60 bikes into all the different lines and all the different numbers and all the different lines, talking about bikes that obviously don't apply to me. He's just not telling it coherently, in my opinion. And I'm scratching my head, and I say something about a price range, and he tries to work with that and obviously like bump it up a little bit, and it's just not working for me. And he keeps apologizing because he just got there, and I guess they sold bikes this weekend, so he didn't know the inventory. And that's when I smelled the alcohol on his breath. And I'm like,
and that's when his penis came out.
This guy's breath reeks of alcohol. And I thought, well, maybe I'm crazy. So, we listened some more, and he's trying to like bring up pictures of the bikes on the computer because, like I said, the inventory was low and he can't work the computer. He can't get it going. And his like debugging is tapping it and shaking it.
And plus, you probably don't want to order a bike, right? You want one off the shelf. Am I wrong about that? Because that's how I am with virtually anything.
Well, if I'm going to go to a Trek store, it's so that I can see them and touch them and learn from the salesman and stuff.
Yeah.
If it's just a salesman talking, like that's not enough to get me offline.
You're like, I had Google.
Right. So
I still do.
And his debugging of this computer is like he picked up the monitor and looked at the base that it would sit on. He's like, I don't know. I'm just like, the fuck?
What were you looking for?
Right? And it's like, this guy has got to be drunk. And my confidence that he's drunk is rising and rising. Because at first I just got like a hint of alcohol, but now it keeps going and it keeps going. And I'm like, am I in crazy town here? I'm the only person who realizes this dude's drunk, Kyle.
What time is it of the day?
I would guess his shift started at 2 p.m. because he just got there and it's like 2:15 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Quite early for a beverage.
Ooh, a couple of lunch beers or something.
Right, but not because he just got there. His shift just started. So then like I'm glad I didn't say or do anything for two reasons. One, my emotion shifted from I'm a little frustrated. I don't go to bike stores very often. I was hoping I would have a more fruitful lesson in this. To not so much frustrated, but like, man, if this guy can't make it to his 2 p.m. on a Tuesday bicycle sales job sober, this is like, maybe I should have some sympathy for this guy, because his life must be fucked if he can't show up to his 2 p.m. bicycle salesman job sober on a Tuesday.
And he looks at the bottom of the stand trying to fix computers.
yeah.
Of the monitor.
He doesn't have any future in IT either. No. That's not going to work out. And that's kind of where it was. Like I learned enough. I guess the EX line, the 5 or the 7 or something would be the bikes that I should be looking at. So from here, it's like, all right, Woody, go online, see what those components are, how they compare to competitors, etc. Learn some more. I've had enough of this fellow. And as I'm trying to break off, he's like not letting me cut off the conversation. He's in sales, but it's like just refusing to hang up the phone.
He's got that boozy confidence about it.
Yeah.
Just not going to let you go.
And I'm trying to like coolly cut off the conveation. Like, cool, man.
Yeah, what are you, a tease?
I just came in here to get
dressed like that if you didn't want a bike.
And, I'm going to go, do some more research and figure things out. He's like, no. Then he starts talking to me some more. What do you think? Should it be in the 5 or the 7? And I'm like, cool, guy. Yeah. Thanks for all your help. I appreciate it. Wish you luck. And they're like, Woody, don't go. Don't go, Woody. No. And I'm like, this is drunk talk. Like, this is,
you sprint.
I'm walking out the door, waving goodbye, like trying to friendly say adios. And they're like, I don't know, saying my name like their friend was leaving the bar too early or something. And that's
a
where
lonely man right there.
So I mentioned it to a friend of mine, and he's like, breath smells of alcohol, starting to act incoherent. Like that's also a diabetic going into an episode. So that's on
really?
So I Googled it because I'd never heard that before. And both of those things are true. And there's actually some EMT training, which is what my friend has because he's a paramotor instructor and he trained. And, that's probably why he knew it. Yeah. So if you're like a cop or an EMT and you smell alcohol in the breath and a guy's acting incoherent, you have to sort of perform some other steps to figure out if he's a drunk or a diabetic having an episode.
So I guess maybe something about the way they process insulin, they're converting insulin or sugar directly into like alcohol or something.
We're getting pretty deep
into like a human liquor steal.
Yeah, right. So Taylor, are you finding it already? Am I to assume you're Googling this?
I was looking around. I found something else though, but yeah,
Did
Yeah,
you know
that's
there's naked
interesting.
people on the internet, Woody? I got distracted as I was Googling. No.
yeah,
but yeah.
alcoholic ketoacidosis.
Okay.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, so I Googled it, and so that's also a possibility. I'm glad I wasn't an asshole.
That guy's a drunk, Woody. I
I'm
feel
gonna
like the other thing. I feel like what's the thing where you? Oh, what's that thing where like if you hear hooves,
If
you
you
don't
see
think.
hoof prints, you think horses, not zebras. Something close to
Yeah,
that.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, yeah. I think
I-
this is a good case of that. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't.
probably an Occam's razor thing.
Either he's a drunk bicycle salesman or he has a very, very rare condition
Yeah, I'm very.
that happens to be acting up right now.
As soon as I came in,
Auto-
and he's got airplane bottles in his pockets.
That's probably his insulin.
Have you ever heard of Smirnoff brand insulin?
Yeah. So
No.
I didn't say anything that you could like quote and hold against me, although I'm kind of an open book, so there might have been some huffing and frustration and stuff. But
That sounds like a frustrating thing. No,
Yeah, I would not care for that either. You're there trying to get information and some dude's just badgering you drunk. Yeah, of course that's shitty.
yeah, yeah. What I usually like to see the thing I'm going to buy if it's a purchase like that for sure. Like if it's a washer and a dryer, show me a fucking picture of the thing. But if it's something I'm going to like be touching and like operating, I really want to feel the clicks and the pops and turn the knobs.
yeah, a lot of bikes have parts in common, right? Like I'm so out of date on this. I'll have my details wrong, but like Shimano will have like 4 levels of derailleurs and cranks and brakes and stuff. And so you can kind of compare apples to apples across different bikes. And I thought I'd just learn what's being offered, but yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. Like this is true with electric skateboards, one wheels, bicycles, etc. These purchases cost 4 digits. Like a mountain bike with front and rear suspension, which is where my friends tell me to be, starts at like $2,000. It's hard to spend $2,000, $2,700, hoping you like a new thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, what if my friends don't ride with me as much as I thought they would? And it's just me out there in the heat of the summer smashing into tree roots and shit. Like, that, maybe it sucks and I'm out $3,000 and I don't get the cardio I thought I would. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
maybe
good thing
it's
you're doing research.
maybe it's low impact cardio that it's like really fun. I don't know.
Yeah. I found this. This just talking about that drunk guy made me think about. Have you guys ever heard of Auto-brewery Syndrome?
No.
Called gut fermentation. So it is Auto-brewery syndrome is a rare condition identified in male and females, likely underdiagnosed. So basically, these people often eat a lot of sugar and like carbs and whatnot, and they have problems with their gut bacteria where it will take like they eat a big stack of pancakes and it converts those carbs into booze in their body. And so like they'll eat a big stack of flapjacks and just be drunk.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome for day one. Until you're like, man, I really just wanted a sandwich. I didn't want to get buzzed. You know?
I don't know. If you were like, Woody, all right, you're going to eat a big stack of flapjacks, and you either convert it to alcohol, which I guess you breathe and piss off, or fat. I'd pick the alcohol, probably.
Yeah, but then you can't drink and flapjack, or flapjack and drive. Is what I meant to say.
You can't carbon drive. You can't do anything like that. That would suck.
You want a baked potato,
still
honey? No, I got to drive later.
Yeah.
What I really want is the ability to turn this condition on and off.
Yeah.
I don't think you like being drunk though, so this doesn't seem like a win. It seems like a lose-lose.
I get sick when I drink. Yeah, maybe that's not for me.
Your sample size of drinking though just really sucks.
It does.
You'll be like, all right, well, it's my biannual time to drink. Oh, are we gonna have a few beers and just kind of chill? No, we're gonna drink to the point that we're uncomfortable, and then that will be my memory of alcohol.
I don't.
time.
I blacked out last time. I don't remember what happened. I don't remember what happened. Like
it was a good episode.
I had to go back and watch the episode just to even. I was like, I don't remember any of this. I think it was the episode when I started making fun of Riley for being crippled. I didn't remember any of that. It was awful.
It was either that one or like at the end of it with Dick on, he was like eating chicken wings or eating chicken legs or something at the end of it, like waving those around. Yeah, that was good times though. Good times.
I drank over a fifth of vodka that episode. That was awful.
Yeah, you really impressed me with that. I thought I was keeping up, and I weigh more than you. And the next day, I was just like, if it was the one where you were talking about Riley, then that was the one where I chipped my tooth that evening, with grinding my teeth, forgot to put my retainer.
The thing about remembering which drinking episode was which is their drinking episodes. So it's a real gamble. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm glad I've got a reprieve from those for a while.
Speaking of yeah, I'm not mad about it, but yeah, the thing about, well, this is kind of different, but with the whole Chinese flu and
Corona disease.
Yeah, the coronavirus
there has
coming
to be
out of there.
A marketing opportunity they're missing out on.
Corona is very upset about this, I'm sure.
There's no way they're pleased. Yeah. You couldn't have called it the Dos Equis flu or something instead of the coronavirus, you fucking assholes. But a friend of mine's married to a Chinese woman. They're both friends of mine. And they went over there like maybe 6 or 7 days before this whole thing broke. Mm-hmm. And they were planning to be there for a month. And they came back 2 weeks early, and they got back like 2 days ago. And I was talking to him, and he was like, yeah, dude, it was no fucking joke. It was way harder to get out of China than it was to get into the US. Like, if we would have waited a couple more days, they might have just had to quarantine our area too, even though it was way the fuck away from Wuhan, or however you say it. And he was like, yeah, so we got back, they like tagged us, and we have to go into a special testing center tomorrow, and then they'll test us. And 2 days after that, we have to go in and get tested again. And 2 days after that, we have to go in and get tested again, because apparently it's a sleeper virus. And so it can just be in your system and you can be contagious without having any symptoms or anything, which makes it, way more fucking dangerous of a disease. And so he was saying he doesn't mind that much because he doesn't think he has it, and he gets to take like a whole week off work. But do you guys, what are you coming down on this? Is this going to be like SARS or H1N1 again, or is this one much worse?
I was looking at a graph of how contagious it is. I think I'm using the term right. Contagious is versus how deadly it is. And SARS was worse on both counts. Oh. Having said that, it seems like a big deal. Like, a lot of people are getting this in China, thousands, and they're setting up hospitals in like 8 days. They pop up a quarantine hospital.
I saw that.
Like, how do you do that?
Hospitals that the doors locked from the outside, and instead of windows, they have bars.
Is that true?
Yeah. My fear would be that. So if the Chinese are being completely honest about like how many people are getting it, then I don't give a shit, because it's like, okay, 0.01%, no, 0.001% of the Chinese population has gotten a flu. Okay. But if they're lying and like 50,000 people have it, but only 30,000 had it last week, which seems like a very Chinese thing to do. Yeah. That's a bit concerning. But then I've just been punked by the news media regarding viruses so many times that I've got a real boy who cried wolf thing going on right now with that. I'm much more afraid of helicopters at the moment than I am of any sort of Chinese virus.
I'm with Kyle on that. I think they can be irresponsible with it. I wish they kept it in check. Like, all right, you guys remember SARS and Ebola? Okay. Worse than Ebola, not as bad as SARS. That's where we are with this. And you'd be like, oh, okay. A little, like a mild concern. But it's always, is this the plague that takes out humanity? And it happens with hurricanes where they always like, I get it. Better safe than sorry. But it also has people throwing hurricane parties on the beach because you guys cry wolf so much with it.
And another thing that the doomsday type people will be like, look, every so many years, there's a plague that wipes out 5 to 15% of all of humanity. And I'm like, yeah, hundreds of years ago when we didn't know how to wash our fucking hands and we were walking around in plague masks and praying the demons away and burning women that we thought were witches causing the disease. Like, I feel like I'm not saying that a pandemic isn't possible in the modern era. I think it's more likely to be spread wildly because of our air traffic and everything, the global travel system. Mm-hmm. But we're not the savages that we were even 100 years ago.
True.
That's true. Yeah. Part of me thinks like I'd rather them make too big a deal out of it and it end up being nothing than them be like, oh, this is just H1N1 again, and not,
Both
if
can
it
be
were a
dangerous.
one-off
I don't
thing,
know.
I would agree with you. But the problem is what I said with the boy who cried wolf thing. It's like, look, you scared me with some swine flu shit back when I was 20. And then it was now the birds have it. And I think that's what SARS was, right?
Mad cow disease.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're going crazy with this mad cow disease when like 3 people died in the planet or something like that. Three
I don't know. SARS,
How to say
Ebola. There's a whole list.
3 people that we care about, like
Yeah. Deeply. Yeah.
but I'm just not worried about the coronavirus even a little bit.
I'm worried a little because I have.
I'd be worried if I was Daniel, who just was out in Hong Kong like a month
yeah.
ago. Like maybe he's the carrier now.
Ooh,
I
patience
stretch.
zero.
I have a couple trips to Europe that I'm hoping to take, and I'm like, oh, so is that going to be a thing? Europe's connected to China, and it's probably stupid. Or,
No,
Yeah. Well, they
connected.
found cases in Germany. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they said those people had not been to China, which was interesting.
Yeah. So maybe someone from China made it over to Germany and spread it a little bit before it got going.
The real fear, like if there's going to be a pandemic that actually does a thing, I would imagine that it's going to be something that the Soviets or we weaponized back in the fucking 60s or 70s.
But we're
that
I thought there
stuff's
was a break.
lethal. Like it's the weaponized versions of things like anthrax and Ebola, like the stuff that's very resistant, and they put it on fucking roids, like the worst diseases that there already were.
Oh, that maybe counters what I was about to say. I thought, well, since we've had plagues wipe out big chunks of people, haven't we gotten good at vaccines? Right? Just give Kyle a little dead corona, his body builds an antidote, and now you're good.
You'd think so.
I don't
I also
know if
have
that
no
works
idea
with-
how any of this works.
Yeah, I don't
Well,
think
I just explained it.
Yes.
Taylor.
Oh, okay. You take the disease, you take like this much of the disease.
flip it a little.
It's just like,
Usually
dabble,
it's
do
dead.
ya?
Usually they give you some like dead flu or something, and
I was
then
watching
your
a
body.
YouTube channel. I was watching a YouTube channel last night, and it was the history of chemical and biological weapons. Very cheery topic.
Oh, cool.
And Hitler had sarin nerve gas during World War II, and they said that he would never use it because of his experiences during World War I with mustard gas. He felt like it was, too far. He could have dropped sarin all over London if he wanted to, and it's incredibly deadly. It's a nerve nerve agent.
Would have killed millions.
And they were like, this may be because they thought that the Brits had something similar and they didn't want the reprisal. And then later in the show, sure enough, the Brits did. The Brits had what was it? There was one thing called taboo, and there was one thing called sarin. They were both nerve. Oh, it's anthrax. That's what the Brits had weaponized. They had weaponized anthrax because the directive of their chemical weapons facility was they wanted 2 things. They want something that could really decimate German livestock and something that could decimate German population. And they're like, how about a 2-for-1? We've got anthrax. And they're like, oh, jolly good. And so they weaponized the fuck out of the anthrax, and they were making tons and tons and literal tons of it. But they never used their anthrax, and the Germans never used their sarin.
How do you get rid of that stuff safely?
You
Can
can't.
you?
They tested it on an island, and it for 50 years it was uninhabitable, and only after they removed the entire layer of topsoil was it safe to go back.
Really?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Just dump it in the ocean. It's like nature's dumpster.
Well, you got to get it off
fine.
the. I'm sure they probably did after they got it off the surface of the island.
Yeah. Thank God, like fucking India didn't have all those right after World War II, or they'd be like, what are we going to do with this? Put it in the river with all of the dead people. It's like,
God knows
destroyed
what's in
the
that
world.
river. The pathogens,
Right,
the
dude.
microbes, the parasites that are in
The
that
whole
river.
planet's figured out that like cholera comes from poop in rivers and
shit.
stuff like that. Yeah. Except India, who's like, I don't see what could go wrong.
Where are your documents for those claims? It's like, well, it's pretty well accepted everywhere. It's like,
Fake news.
India.
He's going through the documents, and there's literally shit on his hands smearing on. To the,
Licking his fingers. Like, just get past it.
Turns out You get cholera from scientific research papers.
He's got his papers. They're squatting over an empty hole in the middle of the road.
That's so India.
That's so. That is a new show coming to the Disney Channel. That's so India.
They're all pooping in holes with no toilet paper.
That's one place I don't really want to visit very much. It seems like the Taj Mahal would
temples?
be really tight. There are lots of places with monkeys.
Dude,
Lots
you
of
want to go to one of those monkey temples where the monkeys come up and try to rob you and stuff.
I mean, that would be cool.
I went to the Strait of Gibraltar, and they were there. There were like monkeys climbing all over us and running around. They'd steal things if you didn't hold it. Neat.
Yeah, that's one of those things that'd be really, really cool for one day.
Yeah.
But imagine if like squirrels were 10 times as smart and they had thumbs. Everyone would hate them.
I'm going to the petting zoo tomorrow, and I was doing some research about this petting zoo, and they've got all of these monkeys, these rescued monkeys, and they're like, this is Oliver. He's 8 years old. His former human parents weren't able to look after his special needs, but he's too humanized, so the other monkeys won't accept him. So it's like, oh my, like each animal has its own bio. It's like there was like a cat. It's like, this is Bessie the cow. Her best friend, Carol the emu. Carol is rejected by the other emus because of, and I'm just like, oh my God, like every one of these animals has like not only like physical problems, but emotional ailments.
Like they're shot down by their friends.
They're all depressed and rejected by their kind. And it's
get out of here, sad. You Uncle Sal.
I like to wonder,
Yes.
High school Woody with his own son. Like, this is Woody. This poor soul hasn't hit puberty yet, and he's 16 years old. His friends have rejected him, and girls are saying no.
They had like a tortoise that was like 45 years old, and its owners had died. And they said, he mostly just sits in his box now. And I'm just like, where's the happy part? It just ends. This is one paragraph.
Well, that's like a tortoise. He's 45. You better cheer that fucker up. He's got another century coming down the pike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all the animals were real sad, but they've got like a really cool selection of animals, and it's like the zoo, except they're happy and you get to pet them, and they've all got like friends.
I went to the
happy?
saddest petting zoo in the year. This is probably like 6 years ago. We took our kids to the petting zoo. Oh my God, they all had fleas. All of them, tons and tons of fleas. There's like camels, and you pet them, and the fleas jump. You know who else had fleas? We did. We had fleas after the petting zoo. It's just like, oh God, this is the worst petting zoo ever.
What an awful petting zoo. How do they get any return business? It's like, I love that petting zoo. It just makes you so goddamn itchy.
Boys, I'm itching for another trip to the petting
zoo. I'm going to steal some of that emu soap I saw. I'm not paying for my own. Yeah. I haven't been to a petting zoo in a hot minute, but I don't like going. I loved them as kids.
Zoo. I feel like the regular zoo is literally animal prison.
It is, but I would like tour a regular prison too, just to kind of see how it looked.
Oh, I would too. I mean, maybe not now, but
yeah. Well, you don't have to.
Yo, Weto!
Yeah, well, it is different than prison.
They found my chink. Who you been talking to?
Nobody.
Just a couple 100,000 people on the internet.
Hispanic man. Yeah.
I'd like to see their signs. Like, this is Dust. Dust is in here because he dealt cocaine and has a real problem with chomos, but loves exercising. His friends include, Roger and whoever. Like, I like the signs, the little bios.
He spent so much time hanging out with monkeys as a child that his fellow Hispanic rejects him.
Who does he hang out with now, Taylor?
Now he just goes to the petting zoos. Oh,
oh my God, I didn't get that until Laura.
What? I don't understand.
Yeah, we're just talking about petting zoos. That's what it was, right? Yeah, so
it was petting zoos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taylor, have you streamed lately?
No, I've been so fucking busy since getting back from vacation. Like when I do have a couple hours free on a night, I'm just like, I just want to sit and do nothing and read. I'm reading another Stephen King book right now. Well, I went to the bookstore and got a few books. I'm reading one about the whole rise, fall, everything of Rome. Like, I love reading about ancient Rome.
Mm-hmm.
I got Under the Dome, which is a Stephen King book about a city in Maine where they drop a big, thick dome around the entire town, and then it's kind of just tracking the little gangs that form within there, and what happens and what doesn't.
Your main character's name's Barbie. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, and so I'm enjoying that so far.
It's really interesting because like right away, like this one guy has like snapped, had a mental breakdown, and murdered a couple of people, and but he has no idea about the dome. So he's like, he hears all the ambulances and the police, and he's like, they already found the bodies. Oh no! And then, but like slowly he realizes like, I'm in the clear here. All right.
Yeah,
it's a cool book. It's like all Stephen King novels. You start out fearing the outside monster, but then kind of comes full circle where like we are kind of the worst monster in the book by the end, like exactly. Humanity is. Like even in it, like you've got an interdimensional creature that that the human mind can't even process an embodiment for, and yet a middle school bully is the scariest thing in the whole book.
Yeah.
Who wants to carve his name in your belly?
Yeah, it's pretty fucked.
Yeah, that was real
carving into your belly. Oof.
Even his friends are like, "Whoa, Henry, I thought you were kidding." He's like, already got the H made.
Yeah.
I'm reading this sci-fi series called Illuminae, something close to that, Illuminae. And in the first one, which I read a few months ago, I really enjoyed it. And the main character, like this heroine, was this female chick, and she was a hacker. So when things went crazy, when things went tips up, her hacker skills became very important, and it made her like useful. She's getting information, she's forming like a resistance, like the French did almost. And all right, cool. The second time around, there's another female heroine. I didn't know this coming in, but this chick is like Krav Maga and boxing and whatever. And I'm not loving that. Look, if a woman's gonna beat up 3 dudes, she needs to have superpowers, right? That superpowers can't be.
Frankly, if anyone's gonna beat up 3 dudes,
sure,
they're gonna need some superpowers. I don't think John Jones can beat up 3 adult males who know how to fight. Not if they know what they're doing.
Yeah, you might have picked the baddest guy on the entire planet, but
that's why I picked him. I think 3.
Well, then not if they know what they're doing.
Take 3 200-pound guys who go to their local like boxing jiu-jitsu gym every week and have them have a powwow, like a little huddle, and be like, and John Jones is over there like, come on, and they're like, all right, look, I'm just going low. I'm gonna wrap at least one leg. I'm gonna bite it, and I'm gonna hold on for my dear life, John. If you could just get one arm, that's all I need. If you could get one, he's going to hit you. I know it's going to be bad, but just hold on. Now we've covered you in super glue for a reason, John. You've got you're not letting go of this man's arm. Get the right arm. That's his strong one. Of course he can kill you with the left too, but we're there's only 3 of us, John. I'm going to go for his eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know about this strategy. I don't know. I think I like John in this scenario, and I double like him if you just grab
super glue.
There's a lot of glue.
If you just grab 3 guys from the bleachers, you're in even more
just
trouble.
Rub your hand full of glue in his eyes. Boom, you win.
Now I've been covering myself in my own feces for 3 weeks. He is not going to want to wrap.
Been doing that. But he's just in this ring again. For the last time, I don't want to fight any of you. Shut up! Shut up! You're covered in shit.
Right. If you put the whole girl thing aside, I'm kind of digging this book. I'm almost finished the second one.
Nice.
Yeah, I liked. I read a book in prison called. I talked about it before on the show, but I think it's called The Fifth Wave, and it's an alien invasion type book with a real cool twist ending, and it's you basically follow like a 14 or 15, maybe 16-year-old girl, and she's like a lone survivor surviving in this world, and she's got her AR-15 and like what little survival gear she has, and she thinks back to how things began, and the titular Fifth Wave is all about how the aliens use multiple things to deal with humanity. There's the first wave, and I think that might have been knocking all the electricity out. And then the second wave might have been like these kinetic weapons, which is basically when you drop something big and heavy and use gravity to hit the oceans and create huge tidal waves.
Soleimani.
Yeah, well, I think they just use missiles for him, right?
I could be wrong. Anyway,
I know we have those cool kinetic missiles. Yeah.
Yeah, they'd have to drop those from space. But in any case, they use those to like make huge tidal waves that kill a huge amount of the population. And then the third wave might have been a plague. I think it was. And then I won't spoil what the fourth wave is because that's a big part of the book. That's like what's happening as the book begins. And then the fifth wave is what's like sort of coming at the very end. Yeah, it's cool.
It hurt everyone's feelings.
I think they made a movie out of it and it failed because it was like coming out right in the middle of the same time that like Hunger Games and stuff like that. And that stuff really overshadowed it, but it was a cool story.
This book that the sci-fi books that I really, really like feel impacted by usually have some level of complexity to them. You know, like I'm trying to keep up with what the book is, the problems that they're throwing at the characters. This one's not like that. It's a little more action oriented, but I'm like, this is almost made to be a movie. It's like this could be it's Hunger Games level fun, and I wonder if it'll ever become a movie. The big challenge that I have with it is the main character is different in the first and second book, and I'll assume the third. So, like, imagine if Jennifer Lawrence became a big star in Hunger Games, and second time around, it's somebody else new.
Yeah, I don't like that.
They might have to change it.
I really enjoyed that fifth wave, but there's like 3 or 4 of them. They're an easy read though. It's fun.
Really? Yeah. Maybe I'll check that out.
It's like Harry Potter, but more grounded. Except there's aliens, and like they do aliens better than any book, like completely different than any book has ever done. Like this isn't too much of a spoiler, but like because like right away she says this. She's like, when you think alien invasion, you probably think like big motherships, like blowing up cities and little green men running around with laser guns. We've never seen them. It's been years, and we've never seen one. Like, and
that's pretty cool. I
like
those.
It's pretty cool.
I like it when
they're
like
devices.
They're like you can their mothership is so big you can see it all day long. It's just up there, like there
District
they are
9 style. Yeah,
I am 11/22/63.
63.
Okay, they did time travel. They put their own twist on time travel, and they're right out of the gate. They're like, all right, let me define how time travel works in our universe. You walk through, it takes you here. You go back, it stays. But when you walk through again, you reset. And, you know, so these are the complexities. You want to go 5 years later. It takes 5 years of your life to get there. And this is what we're trying to do. And I liked it because like we kind of know the rules of time travel, right? They're from Back to the Future, mostly. But these guys laid out in this book, this is how we do it. And I thought it was neat. I like, if you look at it from a new direction, you can get a new story.
The TV show is quite good. I talked about it here, but like it's James Franco, and I like James Franco. He does a really good job of he's the main character, you know, the one who goes back in time to save JFK. And you know, it plays out pretty close to how the books go, but not note for note. So it's good. I liked it. It's a mini series. Maybe it's on Hulu.
I read 2 popular books lately, and they weren't for me. One was Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which is now Blade Runner. And the other was The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah. Well, it's what Blade Runner is based on.
Oh, man. Blade Runner is a way better name. That's way cooler. Yeah,
maybe that's why they changed it.
Yeah, that's probably.
It's like Do Androids Dream of Sheep is sort of like one of the overriding questions that's being pondered philosophically in Blade Runner, but a Blade Runner is the name of the guy who goes out and hunts down the fucking androids who are posing as humans.
I don't think they ever referred to him as a Blade Runner in the book. He's just a bounty hunter.
Well, they gave him a name. They gave him a cool name in the movie.
But yeah, both of those books wildly popular, like sci-fi classics that people know of, and both of them for me were like, man, I'm enjoying the ones people don't seem to know as much.
I've got another one for you if you want more sci-fi that's a real epic. And if you were to get into it, you've got like tons of material to like keep going, and that is Dune. Dune.
I read that as a kid, but it was a little above my level. Like I don't know that I was really getting it.
It's a little difficult. You follow Paul Atreides, who is like, you know, it's sort of a stereotypical chosen one type story. And everybody shits on the movie. Even the director, like, I didn't make that movie. They're like, yeah, you did. No, I didn't. But I liked the original. Patrick Stewart's in it when he still has some hair. It's fun. I like it.
Maybe I'll give it a shot.
Sting is in it. Sting's wearing this cod piece that doesn't have like, all he's wearing is like, it looks like the skimpiest bikini that a European man would ever wear, except it doesn't even connect around the hips. It sort of like comes up from the crotch and turns into a T, and then that T ends.
So it's
Let me
So it's
just
just
it's like a big maxi pad that
Yeah.
covers
Just
the front
attached.
some more.
to his
Yeah,
penis.
I'm gonna show you a picture of it. You're gonna love this. It's
Yeah,
actually
I
I'm
already
wrong
love
about.
it.
I was wrong in my description of it. No, I'm
Mm.
not. No, this
It's
is
like
it.
yeah.
I'm just gonna link you to the. This is a poor link, but you can click the image I think and get open the photo. Yeah, and then you can zoom in and look at that.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what he's wearing. And
Is that
Sting's
all
like,
he ever wears?
he put some clothes on later because he's got to go into combat and stuff, but he kind of chills out wearing that. He's from this planet that's just like super toxic waste, and his dad is like this disgusting human being, like the antithesis of him. I really like the movie. I think it's cool sci-fi, but it's really poorly done.
Hmm.
They're remaking it in some form or facet. I know soon.
I think
don't
it's
know if
on
a-
Netflix.
No, it's not. Oh, I mean, the movie
No.
might be, but there's a remake coming that's either a movie or television show. I'm not sure which, and I'm pretty pumped about that. As pumped as I am for the Lord of the Rings, honestly.
Yeah. I'm keeping expectations down for Lord of the Rings, but I'm absolutely going to watch that the second it comes out. For
Did
sure.
you see where J.R.R. Martin said that he thought Jaime Lannister would defeat Aragorn in a sword fight?
Oh, well, that's foolhardy.
That's retarded, right?
That's insane.
Like,
Insane.
How could we evaluate the skills of these people? Like,
Well, it's pretty.
You,
Well, the fact that Aragorn is like a meta-human. Like he's a superhuman. Like
Okay.
he's not.
but Aragorn is a pub stomper, and Jaime Lannister is a competitive fighter, right? Like he's in tournaments where he goes against other skilled fighters. Correct me, I could be wrong. Certainly in this universe, but does Aragorn beat other good fighters?
Boss characters, yeah, all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Help me.
Several of them. Well, he defeated the leader of the Urukai that came after him. That was like that giant Urukai. Like he defeated him in single combat.
Okay.
The one who throws the knife at him and he bats it away with his sword. The one that killed Boromir.
yeah.
Oh,
But he kills all sorts of supernatural things that are like also bigger, stronger, faster than humans. All sorts of trolls and stuff like that. You know, he battles monsters, whereas Jaime
Mhm.
Lannister just beats up a bunch of like prissy noble-born people.
And Jaime Lannister grew up in like the lap of luxury.
Well, isn't
Like he's
Jaime-
got every benefit, everything.
Aragorn's
whereas-
90 years old almost.
Yeah, Aragorn's got a lot more experience in fighting than he does. Jaime Lannister's never killed a cave troll.
I
He's got
just
the
want to
blessing
point
of the-
against
of the Valor
the
or
noble
whatever.
people, right? Because those tournaments
Dunedain.
had like the mountain and the hound in it, and they had the best, not just the nobles. It was sometimes nobles who had trainers and were the best, but they took all comers.
Sure, but and he was also a pub stomper. You know, Jaime Lannister was as well. You know, right? You know, and killed
Was he?
tons of people. But
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I think the important thing that distinguishes them is that Aragorn is a supernatural being who killed supernatural beings.
Yeah.
For
Dumbledore
90
He's got a
versus
magic
Gandalf.
sword. Yeah, who
Dumbledore
versus
is Dumbledore. I have it right. Harry Potter dude, Dumbledore.
He's the Dumbledore is the
yeah, there's no
is
F.
the strongest wizard in Harry Potter.
Versus Gandalf.
Well,
Oh.
it seems like when you kill Gandalf, unless his mission's done, he just comes back stronger until he completes it.
I think that Dumbledore would win that just because of the difference between magic in the Harry Potter versus the Lord of the Rings universes. Because like there's literally a spell in Harry Potter that just kills anything you put it on, and
yeah,
know.
Harry Potter is like, and I don't know that much about Harry Potter, but I do know that the magic in Harry Potter seems to be more like get out of jail free cards, whereas in Lord of the Rings, it's like when he fought the Balrog in the Mines of Moria, you know, he used magic to like deflect the giant scimitar of flame and shit, but like he still had to fight him with his sword.
Seemed
Still
like he had
to
very
do
limited magic, right? Whereas Dumbledore might have just picked him up and dropped him in a hole.
yeah, he could have levitated him, or just sent 1,000 swords out of nothing.
Jedi
to, like, impale him.
pushes.
Yeah, all that stuff. Like the Harry Potter magic is like super versatile. It like that's kind of the whole thing. That
It'll be like, oh my god, we're locked in here, Harry. Unlock us.
That's a spell.
We're fine.
Yeah, there's a spell to like unlock doors. It's I can't think of it right now.
Unlock
I just read all
is
those
close.
books too.
Yeah, unlock
It's
us,
not
yeah.
all that far off. Yeah, I just read all those books in prison too.
Yeah.
I read all the Harry Potters again.
Oh, Hermione, my throat hurts. I shouldn't have eaten so much shepherd's pie. She's
I
like,
didn't know where you were going with that.
Tumsus. You're fucking fine. Yeah, that's something that I really liked about Lord of the Rings. I'm obviously biased as fuck in this. Is that like when there was a fight coming, like you knew that it wasn't going to happen. That Gandalf could just go like God mode and be like, everyone just wiped, fucking dead, end, done. Like you knew it was going to have to be some strategy, some tactics. Whereas, like at least from what I remember, a few things watching Harry Potter with my youngest brother when he would watch those, it would be like something might be, stakes might be high, and it wouldn't be that they didn't think there was a spell that could get them out of it. It would be, what's the name of that spell again? Oh no, what's the name of it? And then Hermione's like, it's get my ass out of this Atronium. And it's like, oh, to get my ass out of this Atronium. And oh, thank God, that worked good. Oh, we got this time shifting spell that we're gonna never ever use except for this one time, even though it is
that's a time turner, and they were all destroyed in the next movie when Harry went to the Ministry of Mysteries, or to get his prophecy. He destroyed all the time turners, so they were
never about the Ministry of Eat My Ass, Harry. I take.
He didn't mean to. They were. It was Jenny. I think she used the Reducto spell, and all the shelves fell, and she destroyed them all.
Dumb bitch. Yeah, I don't know enough. Yeah.
Mostly, the real drama in Harry Potter is that their children and the most powerful wizard and his gang of like also powerful wizards are after Harry Potter the whole time.
Yeah.
Like an evil powerful wizard named Voldemort. Everybody knows that is after him all the time, and his magic sort of pales in comparison. It's like Voldemort's like an MMA champion, and Harry's just like an amateur boxer. And so every fight they have goes.
But there's 3 Harrys, and they have glue.
I think you're greatly underestimating the terror that a glued up angry man could present. Woody,
if you're right,
like he'd be on
me in super glue. I'm gonna be furious.
Okay. If you cover me in super glue, I'll just have one arm. Be like, guys, this isn't working like we thought. I'm stuck to me.
I'm getting dizzy from the fumes. All right, we didn't think
or
this one
something
through.
real sticky tar or something.
Yeah, put hot tar all over yourself.
Then you'd be really fired up.
Yeah.
You would be.
I can't remember what
fired
tribe
up.
it was, where like right before they went into battle, they would take that wet sinew and tie it around their testicles, because when it dries, it shrinks. And so when they are charging into battle, they want to die. They're in like a bloodlust. Let me see if I can find what tribe.
Isn't that how
Okay,
you
well, I
castrate
guarantee-
sheep?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guarantee this tribe did not have a legacy of victory.
Didn't have a legacy at all. That's how you castrate people.
Yeah, this is. Where the fuck was this tribe of retards? We're gonna wrap a sinew around our nutsacks, and then we won't be as bummed out about the fact that we lose every battle we've ever been in.
Those guys don't. Their nutsacks are free and clear. It's an unfair advantage.
All right, guys, we're 0 and 111, which means statistically we're due. So let's
no one beats us 112 times in a row. No one.
Now, do you think we should forego the nutsack thing?
Okay, I found it. From
Okay.
Sutherland and Watts, Henry V, Warcombe, the Maoris. One is
Heard
told
of them.
Yeah, they're the New Zealand natives. They would tie wet rawhide around their testicles before going into battle to render themselves as the rawhide dried and shrank berserk fighters.
Really, it seems like it would just give you nausea.
Right? I've had torsion testicle. I didn't like it. Don't think I was a more effective fighter either.
I've been hitting the balls before, and the last thing I'm thinking is like, "Oh, I'm so mad, I'm going to get in a fight." It's more just like, I just want to sit off to the side for a little while.
Yeah.
Recoup.
Time out. I have some rawhide on my nutsack.
Yeah. It's just
I'm not saying it worked, boys. I'm just telling you they did it. The origin of the necktie comes from a very similar tradition where they would, wrap those around their necks, and they thought they had magical powers to protect you in battle.
To be clear, Kyle, we're not saying you're dumb. We're saying they're
Maoris
dumb.
were dumb.
the Maori didn't like the British
created
just
so
showed
many
up
technological advances, like the
driftwood with shark teeth embedded in it.
Yeah, that thing.
I
Seen
could have
the swords
invented
they've
that.
got? Yeah, that thing's absurd.
Yeah, that thing is, it's like, oh, and the obsidian is even sharper than metal. And it's like, bitch, you guys just couldn't figure out how to make swords.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop acting like high and mighty on your islands there with your obsidian. And then like you compare it historically and it's like, yeah, they had like dope ass steel in the Middle Ages in Europe and these places. And you guys were,
Especially
you had
in Asia.
shark teeth. Yeah, in Asia and Europe, like in the
Although obsidian does create a sharper edge than we can still create with steel to this day. I think they still use obsidian in some surgeries, maybe eye surgeries, and obsidian blades.
Yeah, it is sharper. That's true, but it's more of a thing of like, it's not durable whatsoever. If I have a steel sword going up against Kyle and he has an obsidian thing, every time we hit blades, I'm gonna destroy your weapon. Yeah, it's just gonna fall apart.
We're an hour in, but I just want to say this real quick. While we were talking, my friend got back and told us how his flight went on the paramotor. For whatever reason, he got his phone out and called his wife. Phone wasn't tethered to the paramotor like I do. No. Yeah. So the long and short of it is, quickly into the call, he dropped his phone. But what his wife heard is, "Oh no!" Surrounded by, followed by the phone falling 1,000 feet and crashing. She spent like 2 hours wondering if her husband was dead.
Ooh, you've been pranked. Sorry, bitch. This was a social experiment.
Because he dropped his phone. So yeah,
that's funny. Well, glad he's not actually dead.
Me too. PKN 284.
Yep.